What if the emergency alert, screaming from your nightstand, wasn't a warning about the weather, but a set of instructions for your execution? Imagine the temperature dropping 40 degrees in a single hour, the wind howling against your siding like a pack of starved wolves. You reach for your phone, expecting the familiar red banner of a National Weather Service blizzard warning. But the text scrolling across your screen doesn't mention snowfall totals or road closures. It says, "Do not look at the snow. It is looking for you." Welcome to Shadowland, a place where darkness breathes and silence speaks. Tonight, we journey into the frozen heart of the Catskills, where a record-breaking storm brought more than just ice to a remote mountain cabin. We'll follow a woman named Claire, who realized too late that the emergency broadcast wasn't sent to save her life. It was sent to make sure she stayed exactly where they wanted her. Stay until the end! Or you might find yourself answering a door that should have stayed frozen shut. The cabin was supposed to be a sanctuary, a place for Claire to finish her manuscript far from the frantic energy of Manhattan. The fireplace crackled, the scent of burning birch filling the small, cozy room. Outside, the woods were a wall of black and white. The first flakes of the forecasted storm of the century, beginning to dance against the window panes. Then, the sound happened. Not the wind, but the high-pitched digital shriek of an emergency alert system broadcast. It came from her phone, her tablet, and the old battery-operated radio on the mantle, all in perfect, terrifying unison. Claire grabbed her phone. The header was standing, but the text below it made the blood turn to slush in her veins. It read, "Stay away from all exterior roars! The white stain is not small! Do not acknowledge the tap-in!" Claire looked toward the window. The snow wasn't falling in flakes anymore. It was thick, Wivnik, and strangely gray, clinging to the glass in patterns that looked like long, skeletal fingers. Then, it started. Tap, tap, tap. A soft, insistent rapping against the double-paned glass, as if someone were checking for a weak spot. She scrambled into the center of the room, dragging her heavy rug and a blanket with her. She huddled there, the fire the only thing keeping the encroaching shadows at bay. She took a deep breath, forcing herself to rationalize. It was a hack. It had to be. Some bored teenager with a transmitter and a cruel streak. The tapping was just ice pellets, the gray snow just a trick of the moonlight in the storm's intensity. She was in a reinforced cabin with a week's worth of wood and food. She was safe. She was warm. She poured herself a glass of wine, her hand barely shaking now, and watched the embers glow. Her phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't a text. It was a voice memo automatically playing at full volume. It was her own voice, but it was distorted, layered with the sound of wind and breaking ice. "Claire, let us in. It's so cold out here in the white. We can see your fire. We can see your heart beating." The tapping on the window stopped. It was replaced by a heavy, wet thud against the front door. The wood groaned under the weight of something massive. Claire backed away, her eyes fixed on the door frame. The snow was beginning to seep through the cracks, not melting into water, but crawling across the floor like a carpet of tiny, pale spiders. The emergency alert screen on her phone flickered and changed one last time. It didn't look like an official government document anymore. It looked like a thermal map of her cabin. A single red dot, her, was in the center. Surrounding the cabin were dozens of blue, freezing shapes, all pressing inward. The text at the bottom read, "Thank you for staying inside. The harvest is easier in confined space." The front door didn't break. It simply dissolved, the wood turning into the same gray, freezing ash as the storm outside. Claire didn't scream. She couldn't. The air in the room had turned to solid ice in a heartbeat, freezing the breath in her lungs. As the tall, pale figures stepped through the ruins of her doorway, their skin the color of a winter sky. She realized the Barzid warning was never about the weather. It was an invitation, and she had been the only guest on the menu. If you want to survive the next night in Shadowland, make sure to subscribe and leave a light on in the comments. It helps us find you in the dark. Sleep well.